If you increase fiber in your food, fiber takes care of it. Why? Fiber has two beautiful properties. Fiber, we human beings cannot digest fiber. So if you eat fiber rich food, it doesn't make you hungry again and again and again. The second thing is fiber absorbs water and bulks up. Fat accumulation can happen in the body in different ways. If it is accumulated under the skin, the subcutaneous fat, almost 10 kilos of excess fat has to happen for you to become metabolically sick. 200 grams of excess fat deposited in the liver can be extremely dangerous. What I tell my clients is push your breakfast as far as possible. Pull your dinner as close as possible. Today I am eating breakfast at 7 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow I'll eat at 7:15. Another day I'll go to 7:30. So keep on pushing it and keep on making it early dinner in such a small window where the rest of it is gut rest, which is intermittent fasting. You cannot push yourself into it. It has to happen. You correct yourself. If you are sitting with a mobile phone beside you and you're eating, what will the child do? Just to get rid of the children's tempers and tantrums, so just to divert the child's attention, you switch on the TV and give food to the child, and you ask the child to stop seeing TV whenever you want to. How can that happen?
Where is your medical first aid kit? It is in the kitchen. From the turmeric to shunti, ginger to hing, these were our thing. Another major challenge today we have is a weight management. I could call it weight loss, weight gain, basically weight management. Yes, today the challenge is more on the weight, obesity. How do I lose weight? If somebody comes to you with that, how is your approach to that person?
See, the first thing we need to understand is today people think eating less is going to help me lose weight or stay in the right weight. And that's the biggest problem. When people come to me, they very proudly tell me, I eat one roti, I eat one dosa. I ask them, why are you stressing on that one?
I say, I'll tell you, it is calorie deficit.
Yeah, absolutely. That is where the problem lies. And then I teach them, right? See, while you eat food, you eat less because you don't want to put on weight.
Correct.
Then in another 1 hour or 2 hours, you are hungry and dying.
Yes.
You don't have food around. Yeah. You will eat all the junk around.
Yes.
And you are adding to the problem. And at the next mealtime, you are not hungry because this has killed your appetite. There you will not eat again. And you are very happy. Oh, I've eaten half a roti. That's it. And another 2 hours again, you will repeat this.
Okay, what if I have the willpower and I don't snack?
It is not about willpower. How long will you have willpower?
I'll get headache.
How long will you work like that? That's not the way to work.
Okay.
The whole point is, if you increase fiber in your food, fiber takes care of it. Why? Fiber has two beautiful properties. One, the fiber, we human beings cannot digest fiber. So if you eat fiber rich food, it doesn't make you hungry again and again and again. The second thing is fiber absorbs water and bulks up. When it bulks up in the stomach, it adds satiety. So when you eat fiber rich food, you will not get hungry is first thing. Second, when you get hungry, you end up eating small quantities of food. What else do you want to lose weight? People with even 150 kgs who come to me, this is all I do. Increase fiber in their food. Teach them how to increase fiber.
Can you help us how to increase fiber in our diet?
One sentence. Whole plant-based foods. Over. There is nothing more to it. So you can learn
For example,
more and more.
Soaked almonds or soaked.
Absolutely no.
So,
why are you going to almonds? Full of rich of fats. How can you lose weight when you're increasing richness into your calories and richness into your diet?
So you're saying vegetables only?
Absolutely not vegetables only. I have told you what is a healthy meal. All the four food groups should be there. You make them
specifically,
wholesome.
Is there something called fiber rich? These are really, can you give us like some?
There's nothing. Every single thing you eat should be high fiber rich. And that is where my work lies. Let us stop there because it's a lot of conversation where they have to understand and learn systematically.
It's better.
But let me tell you the other part of it. Now, fat accumulation can happen in the body in different ways.
Okay.
Now, if it is accumulated under the skin, the subcutaneous fat, lot of fat, almost 10 kilos of excess fat has to happen for you to become metabolically sick.
Okay.
But
Hmm.
if that accumulation is on the belly, then smaller amount of fat will create the same illness. Say 4 to 5 kgs of excess weight on the belly will create all the metabolic disorders, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, all of that, right? And if the same fat is in the liver, very little, even 200 grams of excess fat
In liver.
deposited in the liver can be extremely dangerous. So, where the deposition is happening is what is important, and what are the causes for each of these depositions and how to solve that. All of these come under
Nutrition.
Yeah, absolutely. This is where you have to understand the cause. And now, for example, on the belly, it is not the calorie or it is not energy driven, it is hormone driven. The stresses, the more and more stressful you are, the more and more fat gets deposited on your belly. And the more and more refined food you eat, the sugars and the fructose, the more and more gets deposited in your liver. It is the sugar and the alcohol which deposits
The belly.
in the liver.
In the liver.
That is what is the biggest dangerous fat.
The
So,
sugar goes and settles in the liver.
as fructose gets metabolized in the liver, right? So it has a lot of nuances. You have to understand. It is beautiful.
We thought eating food was simple.
Yeah.
If you break it into a nutritionist life, and when they come with the problems, that's where you deconstruct everything.
I don't agree with you because, see, olden days, they knew it right, and they finally the plate becomes very simple. But to make that simple plate, you need a lot of understanding. But earlier, what happened is they just trusted their elders.
Yes.
My parents know it right, my teachers know it right, my gurus know it right. I'll simply blindly follow it. So it became simpler.
Yes.
Now, to understand that and do it,
It is-
becomes a little
It
complex
is
and
like
complicated.
there is a switch, I turn on, the light is there. That
Yeah.
was simple.
Correct.
It was there.
But if I have to understand that why and how of it and then switch it on becomes the problem. But today what I see is we are all logical beings. We are very rational. If I don't understand the whys and whats of it, I will not do it. That is the problem. So when it comes to food, it is very essential. The knowledge is the first essential part of it. Once I get the knowledge, adopting it, making necessary requirements and arrangements becomes very simple. And once you do that, it is just a cakewalk. It is just that understanding. That's all. Now that I told you about the khichdi, isn't it so interesting? Not boring anymore and still nutritious.
The next 5 days, if I will invite you home for different varieties of the thing. In the topic of weight management, there is also something intermittent fasting.
Mhm.
So, do you recommend?
When it comes to intermittent fasting, I don't know how much you understand. It is about eating in a small window of eating, right?
6 to 6.
Yeah.
Suryodaya to Suryastamana.
So, it should not be forced on yourself or anybody else. I have no right to force anything onto anybody else. My job is to give you knowledge and help you make the right choices. But if you're my client for a personal consultation, then I handhold you to do what you're doing. That's all.
You will see if I'm able to do that.
No, not able. You have to come there slowly. You cannot start, okay,
Straight away.
I'll start eating here, I'll end eating here. It's a struggle. It is not that way. I generally, what I tell my clients is push your breakfast as far as possible. Pull your dinner as close as possible. Today I'm eating breakfast at 7 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow I'll eat at 7:15. Another day I'll go to 7:30. So keep on pushing it and keep on making it early dinner. And one day, maybe few months, few years, you'll come to a place where you're eating in such a small window where the rest of it is gut rest, which is intermittent fasting. You cannot push yourself into it. It has to happen.
It's really, I enjoyed the way you said, push your breakfast, pull your dinner.
Again, the problem, look at the Western ways of eating. The Western diet will tell you, eat your breakfast as soon as possible. Isn't it?
Yes.
Eat as rich
Yes.
as possible. Eat as big as possible.
Yeah.
All these are very wrong Western ideas. This is where Indian traditional systems come in. It is very, very important to understand all these small little things, which is endless. One lifetime is not enough to understand all of these and enjoy the nuances of all of these, right?
Beautiful.
So early morning hours, our body is eliminating whatever I did yesterday has been completely metabolized, is completely out, and now the body in the early morning hours after sun's rise is eliminating in every way. It could be stool, it could be urine, it could be sweat, it could be eyes, nose, every orifice, skin, everywhere it is eliminating. Now, if I put in something, what does this going out happen? Isn't it common sense? It is disturbing the elimination, isn't it?
is,
When did your grandmother eat? Not 7 o'clock in the morning. Almost when the sun was up on the head
Yes,
is
yes,
when
that's
our
when
elders
she-
ate.
That's when they got the time.
Exactly.
So much of work and all
That is
these
exactly how we need to do. Push your breakfast as far as possible so the elimination of the body happens properly. And when the elimination is done, then the hunger satiety hormones start working. Your hunger is created. Don't eat without hunger. See, everything is connected. Every small little thing makes a difference in our health.
So intermittent fasting is about pushing my breakfast and pulling my dinner. That's a beautiful thing. I think people will also remember. This is much more catchier than calling it intermittent fasting. But there is also yogis eat only one time a day. They say no, bogies eat 3 times, yogis eat 2 times. I'm not too very clear about that. But then how do you recommend the 3 meal per day or a 2 meal per day or just 1 meal?
Basically, you have to listen to your hunger. There is nothing called 2 meal, 10 meal pattern. You should always learn to listen to your body. Basically, I teach people to listen to their body. I am nobody to put a number, put a quantity to their food just because I have 2 or 3 degrees in nutrition. That's the last thing I should be doing. My job is to teach them how to listen to their body and the needs of their body. If you slow down and consciously listen to what is happening inside your body, you will understand. Do you want to eat 3 times, 4 times, 10 times, or 1 time?
So you're coming to mindful eating.
Absolutely.
So it is not about the number of time I eat.
No.
I might end up eating 10 times also if my body needs or if my physical activity. So it is not a generic rule at all because we see in social media and social celebrity nutritionists telling us eat as much as you want, somebody, and someone says eat only 2 meals. They do this as a content, and today we are like, as a consumer, as a people who watch, we are like confused. So do I eat as much as I want or do I eat only 2 meals? Do I deprive myself of whatever good thing, good food, good emotions? How do I listen to my body and what is my body telling me? How do I know that?
Okay. Now, when I say that, I don't mean to say, if your body asks 10 times, eat means. There is a line, very thin line between your body asking and the mind asking. It is the mind asking 10 times. Body will never ask you 10 times. When you eat well, properly at every meal, a healthy cooked meal, it will not ask you again and again and again. Body is happy. Now tell me, what happens when you eat a very rich, very huge meal in a wedding or in a party or something? What do you want to do after that?
Oh, sleep? Probably.
Why? As far as I and you understand, food gives me energy. So you should have been more energetic and jumping around. But after a meal, you're saying, I don't want to jump around. I want to sit or sleep, right? Do you understand? The more and more food you eat, the more and more the body is using its energy towards digestion and metabolism of that food. So your physical activity and mental activity slows down after a meal. That is why it is very
Sometimes
important.
If we know that, why do we end up craving for such a big, luxurious, rich meal? Not a balanced meal, rich meal.
That is the mind chemistry. You give the wrong kinds of food, the mind craves for it because there is a change or a shift in the mind hormones. It's in the brain where it is asking, it is habit forming, it is, wanting more of those particular chemicals to be released, which gives me pleasure. So that's not the right way of eating. It is very important, listen to the body and not the mind. How do you differentiate between that? Now, if I can make some space for a chocolate or an ice cream after a meal, that is mind asking. If I am asking, if some asking is happening for a specific food, it is mind asking. But give cucumber and say, okay, you're hungry, eat. Then what will the mind do? Twice, thrice, give cucumber.
My child will be better than my mind.
Absolutely. The mind is the child in us. In each of us, we have a child, which is the mind. So how do you deal with your child?
Yeah.
Deal with your mind also like that. Will you give your child everything the child asks, even if you know it is wrong for the child's growth, development, or environment, or health, whatever you want as a parent, right? You will do only what is right. Similarly, deal with your mind. Saying, we have to have a control over the mind, isn't it?
Become happy, right?
Yeah.
When you didn't like the word cheat meal, white cheat and other things, but then this mind sneaks for a piece of a chocolate or a piece of a cake.
Yeah, when I'm deficient. It could be deficiency in any part of my life. It could be deficiency in my nutrients. It could be deficiency of my sleep. It could be deficiency at the physical activity level. It is deficiency in different aspects of my life, which is asking me for a comforting food. That is why they are called comforting foods. I have a problem with my husband, then I want something to comfort me. I can't do anything there. I can't do anything with my boss. I can't do anything with my neighbor. So when I have a problem outside in some other area of my life, then I end up wanting something which comforts me. I have no control over anything else outside. This is the only thing which I have control over.
Yeah.
I'll eat whatever I want. You start with that, but very soon it becomes addictive, because those are the chemicals which, straight hit that part of my brain which will ask more for it. And that is where we get into trouble.
Consistently, when we just seek comfort through food, we end up having lost weight and then again deprive ourselves with the food only.
So look at the areas where you have an issue and solve the issue, solve the cause, and then this will drop off on its own. Don't try to solve at your plate level. The problem is happening somewhere else in your life and you're trying to fix your plate. Is not fair at all for yourself and anybody else for that.
Have you had any example like this in your...
Absolutely. Every day in and day out, this is what I see. And this is my work. I understand their life, their medical history, their eating patterns, their stresses, what they do, every moment of their life, everything I understand in those 4-5 weeks.
Also turn up as a psychologist sometimes, because
I can't say that, but yes, I understand a lot about what is happening in their head, and that is where my work comes.
So, ulta, can it also work like, yes, I have so many challenges which I can't solve, so I ended up falling onto the plate. But then now, because I realized I can't do that, I came to you with whatever struggles. I try to eat a balanced meat. It was not something I wished for, but somehow I handled. Do you think I will get that kind of a mental strength to handle the other?
Absolutely. They're all interrelated,
Can you share a story, case study or something like that?
Okay. For example, there is this lady which I'm working with right now. She's an elderly lady and she says she has attended my course. She has attended my workshops. So she's made all the changes. Very, very, perfect lady. I understand this, I will adopt it. That's it. She doesn't need any influence.
Best student.
She will do. She will do everything to the T. And yet, recently she has taken a personal consultation. I said, why you? She said, in spite of doing everything, my blood sugars are not coming down. Wow. I have problem with my diabetes. Right? I am doing everything you have taught me. I have not missed anything. You look at what I am doing. You will see that. But my blood sugars are not coming down. I've come to a point where my pancreas is no more working and I am on insulin and I take this quantity of insulin. I have started working with her only from 4 days, if I'm right, 4 or 5 days probably. And she was taking 18 units of insulin in lunch. We have come to 2 today. And morning, I think she's taking 6. And slowly, I'm going to work on each meal where she's going to stop or come to the minimum of insulin.
Okay.
Why? We are trying to rest the pancreas. See, all the time we are working towards how to bring the blood sugar down. What is blood sugar? It is just a symptom. Why the hell are we working with the symptom? Go to the cause. What is the cause in diabetes? Cause is your pancreas is overworked. Your pancreas is tired. Your pancreas cannot produce any more insulin. Is one part of the story. The other part is your cells are full of fat and there is an insulin resistance at this end. So work on these two, no? Give rest to your pancreas so that it can start working and remove fat from your cell. These are the two areas where I need to work on with her, right?
Okay.
So this is where the understanding should come. Where is the cause for my problem? Once they get an understanding of this, why will they do anything wrong? Or once you people think, okay, you went to work with a nutritionist, you made some changes after a week or a month or maximum 1 year, it'll all be gone. No. Even if they deviate, they know that this is the right thing and I have to go back there. And soon they'll fall back because they know the knowledge, right? They know whys and what. So they will go back. And just in case they can't, they come back after a year, 2, 3. They come back and say, for 1 week, I would just want to be with you. And I'll share my plates. Please refine it and then I can start on my own. So that is the confidence I give to my clients where they say, I know everything and I can manage everything.
Okay, so even that 1 month course they do, that is a generic thing. But if they have any specific challenge,
that
they
is
should
a
know the root
person.
cause, and probably even that generic balance meal will need a tweak.
That is the balance meal for anybody, for everything. Whether it is age or different physiological state or gender, it is the same balanced meal. It doesn't change. That is what you need to understand.
So now I'll take in a case of a young mother. Always a fear. A finicky eating child or an overeating child. Still the mother feels, I have not fed the baby right. I don't know if the baby will be, because the first is the young mother will already, it's too much of expectations to be the right mother and the best mother and all these things, super mom kind of a thing, work thing. How can she know that she's feeding the baby right? Still the same formula?
Absolutely. There is no formula for different things. These 4 food groups have to go into your plate. That's it. A child will eat lesser quantity. You might eat more quantity. A person who is working out will eat even more bigger quantity. A male will eat bigger quantity. I might eat smaller quantity. That's all. It is the quantity which you play around with.
How do
Depending on your hunger. Why should you know? Why should an expert tell you what to eat? You listen to your hunger. Don't you know when you're satiated?
Right. But as a mother, my child does not tell me, or either she overeats, or let's say the baby is not eating enough quantity. If I say that food 4 groups, all like little picky eater kind of a thing. How do I know if that it's enough?
Yeah. See, the problem does not lie in what the baby is doing. It lies in us giving the wrong things at the wrong time, right? So first, I will always say, lot of people come with their children problem. I say, I will not deal with your children. Who am I to deal with your children? You correct your eating and lifestyle. If you correct your lifestyle and your eating, children will follow you. That's all. Especially small children, you don't have to deal with them. It is you who went wrong, and that is why they are doing that. You correct yourself. If you are sitting with a mobile phone beside you when you are eating, what will the child do? Right? Just to get rid of the children's tempers and tantrums, and you are already frustrated, you are already tired, you are already angry. So just to divert the child's attention, you switch on the TV and give food to the child, and you ask the child to stop seeing TV whenever you want to. How can that happen? No.
Can I now be on their side? Earlier days also, they used to carry the child and show Chanda Mama and feed. So that was also a distraction. Now that I don't get to see Chanda Mama in my apartment, I'm just watching TVs. What's wrong?
No, Chanda Mama is boring. How long will you see Chanda Mama? It is a minute's job. But here it is 1 hour, not even 1 hour. I can sit in front of the TV not knowing what I'm eating, how much I'm eating. Now you need to understand what happens with the brain-gut connection. Brain is called the second gut. Why? Because millions, if I am right, I think 600,000 neurons end in the gut. So there are that many neurons in the gut, which means to say The nervous system is doing all the job in the gut, right? It is a brain sitting inside my gut. What does it do? Generally, if I have to just divide it into some functions, one is the sensory function. It has to sense what is coming into the mouth. And as soon as it senses, it has to, tell the right centers in the brain to secrete. The next is the secretion, right? Secrete the right kind of enzymes, right amount of juices, right hormones to take care of the breaking down or the digestion of the food.
Right.
Exactly where what should happen. Then comes the absorptive function. Again, the nervous system has to do that job, right? So all the absorption, then transportation, then excretion. So all these, then the movements have to happen, correct? For all of this, see, the swallowing movement or the food moving from the mouth through the esophagus into the stomach and to the intestines, and the movements of the churning of the stomach, movements of the intestines, everything. Who is controlling all of this? It has to be the the nervous system, right? And the brain coordinating and creating all of this. If you're watching something mindlessly and eating, what happens to all of these functions?
Aren't they automated system? I keep
Absolutely
watching.
no. I see something and something else happens. Everything is emotionally connected, right?
So you're-
I'm fearful, I'm scared, or I'm angry, seeing something which is happening outside. Don't those emotions create the same biochemistry inside my body? Everything is absolutely
So
connected.
if I'm watching a cartoon or I'm scrolling Instagram, I'm scrolling and I'm eating. So the system is occupied on my
What I'm seeing. Yeah.
I'm
It is
listening.
the senses which has to see. That is why we were told eat mindfully is using all your senses, using your hand, knowing the flavor, the texture, the taste, what you're eating. That is when you can stop eating. Otherwise, mindlessly you can keep on eating because your stomach is full. Why didn't your stomach tell you?
Yeah. Because
You
it's
understand?
occupied
Yeah,
into-
it was occupied into something else. So you never know, but you leave all of that. The first thing I teach my clients is to eat 100%. Two things I need to do, want them to do 100%. Eating and shitting. Both have to happen 100%. If I am reading newspaper, watching TV, doing some work and doing either of it, both gets ruined. That's it.
And unfortunately, these are the places the mobiles have entered.
Yeah,
Eating with mobile, shitting with mobile.
absolutely.
And
This is the first lesson I have to teach. Sadly, somebody has to pay somebody to get these little lessons to be taught, which has to happen at the school, at the home. Today, adults have to be taught.
I feel very helpless to even know, or I don't know what to do. It is like these are the things they should have taught us in school. We are there 8 hours and we are there around them. Even then, even at school, you have 15 minutes, eat fast. Is what?
That is the thing. Just see what your grandmother told you. Your grandmother told you,
Right.
sit down and eat. Eat
Hold your
slowly. What did your mother tell you? Just the opposite of it. Put the plate in front of you and say 5 minutes. By the time I come out, you should have finished.
The bus is waiting.
Yeah. This is the running behind something. God knows what we are running behind. All of us are running, rushing. And that is where the problem lies. We need to slow down. We have to take pauses. We have to reflect upon what we are doing, why we are doing. Every single part of our life, we need to slow down and reflect upon why we are doing. That is when we can make a right choice. Otherwise, we are going to run this rat race, not reaching anywhere and struggling and suffering all our life. We miss the bus. We miss these every moment, beautiful moments.
And
there is no goal at all. Where is the goal? It is the process which needs to be
financial
enjoyed.
success is driving us. Material success. 1 car to 2 car, 1 home to 2 homes is where
Yeah.
we are all running behind. In this race, all my guests in your place, like I have been telling this, but somewhere it is easier said than done. We end up choosing fast food and junk food when the next counter might be selling, very good fruit salad or a nice veg salad. This is something an individual decision. in this connect, while between choosing fruits, vegetables, I just there are a lot of spiritual significance in our tradition to fast.
Hmm.
What is this connection between the spirituality and the science of fasting?